Alright, we are live in VR. I've changed some settings in OBS. I took us off the AMD GPU render and put us on software. Because I noticed that there were some issues last time I did that. So we'll see. I still have some CPU overhead. It doesn't take that much CPU power to do this with OBS, actually. Doing like 1.3% CPU usage. That's actually very little. We'll see how this works.
Alright, can you hear me?
Yep. I can hear you.
I'm trying to see if I can be heard.
Alright. So, where am I? Oh yeah, I had to land at Quads Vision. So... What?
Okay, you can hear me well. Okay.
Yep.
I finally heard myself, so, okay. Let me close this out. Oh, come on. Come on. How do I... Hold on, where is the... Which one of you is doing that?
Known very few people do live streams. Don't have technical issues starting out. Ah.
Oh, come on. There's stuff in the background. Alright. Well, I found a new feature of my phone of just closing the YouTube doesn't close YouTube. Okay, that's good to know, I guess.
Okay.
Alright, I think I got that under control. Take one last sip. And...
Now, it's ironic. You know, we're doing this and we're going to discuss space games when we're playing a space game.
I don't know if that's ironic, it's just appropriate.
Appropriate.
It's a themed thing.
Yes.
So I got more. I've got an engineer I'm trying to unlock, what's his name? Li Chang or whatever his name is?
Yeah.
And I have to sell in 50 markets. And so I'm flying from station to station to station, just selling crap.
Ah.
Let's see, where am I at in that process? I am... where am I at in that? Oh, my eyes to readjust. Oops. First page. Engineers. There you are. Oh, nope, that's not him. There it is, Lee Chung. I am 2850, so I'm a little more than just a snitch more than halfway.
Okay. Cool.
Alright.
Okay, so hit it out.
I'm gonna put my music on so I can have something to listen to. Turn that down.
I won't be able to hear. I won't be able to hear that on this end, so won't be an issue. All right, I got to go here. Pick up some passengers.
All right, get my route set.
4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, route set. There's one more station to visit in this system. All right, preparing for liftoff.
Base. Fucking base game.
There we go. Yeah, they can't see what I'm up to, though.
No. We used to do that. We used to have that where you would send your video stream to me over the network. It was sort of janky.
It worked, but it was tricky, and I don't know how well it would work with us both in VR.
Yeah.
It's still nice to be able to do it if we could do it, but it's tricky.
Yeah, we have to like have your OBS stream it to mine as a what do you call it, a VLC stream, and then mine picks it up and plays it. It was janky.
But at least you could see what I was up to.
Yeah, we could see what we were. I mean, you could stream on your end. Got
Yeah.
more than enough. We got more than enough upstream bandwidth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I'll set that up next time.
Yeah. Now, getting on the topic, No Man's Sky. We finally got a release date for the update, for the Beyond
August
update.
14th. And I
Yeah.
love this. We're playing Elite and talking about No Man's Sky. Just right off the gate, I'm like, oh yeah.
And we're talking about No Man's Sky Beyond, which
Yes.
Beyond is the update that Elite Dangerous just recently got.
You know, my feeling on it is, I think this is the time killer for the real thing.
Yeah.
As you're going to have a hard time pulling me out of that once that releases, because that's going to be in VR, and we're both ready for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's... We still don't know what the third component is. We know the first is the online. The way this headset works is if you get an itch, you gotta take it off to scratch. Okay.
Okay. Are you done scratching?
I gotta find the sweet spot again. There we
Okay,
go.
You might want to edit that. Just saying. There went your ESRB rating.
The headset sweet spot.
But exactly, the headset sweet spot. I'm just gonna stop right there. I didn't do it. Okay, back to topic. Okay, so for me, just playing Elite Dangerous is just kind of this. If there's any game I have that absolutely murders time, it's Elite Dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
This is the most time murdering game I own.
Oh, this is.
It doesn't kill time; it murders it.
Yes, and it's mega grindy.
I'm about to get interdicted. I got a pirate message.
Ah, joy. Yeah,
It's time to test out the guns.
but Elite Dangerous, I mean, or not Elite, but No Man's Sky is getting VR support. It will support the existing VR headsets, but it has support for the Valve Index's new controllers.
Yes, I'm going to get me a set because they're compatible with the Vive.
Yes, they're compatible with the existing Vive.
And I am going to get me a set of those. I don't necessarily need the Index. I'm not even sure I want the Index. But I do want those handsets.
Yeah.
The reason I don't want the Index, since we're on that topic real quick, is mainly because, I mean, the frame rate's great, but my feeling is not having an OLED, just having a regular LCD, to me, is just murder. It's like, no, because you're not going to have black levels worth crap. And to me, what makes this all so sharp and stand out is those black levels.
Yeah.
Even when it's on, if nothing's being shown, it's almost pure black.
Oh, definitely. I mean, any of you that are watching right now, I can't see the chat, unfortunately. There's no reliable software available that can actually put a window in chat that actually works. There are a couple of programs out there that do it, but they're awful. They're terrible.
We are in Elite Dangerous. Now, I'm not in Open, I'm in Mobius.
Yeah.
But, if they want to wing up or something, they can always do that, too. He's going back and forth and back and forth. Okay, let's just pull out before he gets me. But...
Yeah, so the game's getting some MMO-like features. We don't know exactly what all those entail yet. But they have described them as being features similar to what an MMO would have. Which we think would be expanded multiplayer. Right now, No Man's Sky, the way the multiplayer works is people have to join your game. And how many, you could have like, is it 6 or 8?
You can have 4 in a party, and the lobbies, I think, have 16.
Okay. So 4 at a party, the lobbies can have 16, and everybody else shows up as an orb. Still as a floating orb, rather than as their character.
I think the orb thing is going to go away, though. I think that's going to be gone.
Yeah, that's what this update's about. I think the orb part is going away, and everybody will occupy similar worlds. It might still work the same way where,
You might have 16 in a lobby at most, maybe. That's not confirmed one way or the other, though.
It might work less like Final Fantasy-like MMO and more like an Ark survival Evolve. Or Warframe like massive multiplayer. It may work like that. We don't know. We assume, if it's going to have MMO-like features, it's going to have things where you can find groups, parties. That will likely have, and that's Dave coming in with the mail. We assume that they will have, hub support. Hubs are player groups. Because hubs exist in the game now, but they're not officially supported.
I haven't really heard many people mention this. I'll tell you what I want. I want them to be able to have more than one freighter in the same star system.
Yes.
Right now, one of the limitations is you can only have one freighter at a time.
Yeah.
If somebody has their freighter out, you can't bring yours out.
Yeah,
and I really want to get past that.
That's probably one of the limitations they're getting rid of.
I'd like to hope so.
Yeah. There are some weird limitations that.
A massive fleet of player freighters all over the system. That would be just Especially if they don't let, especially if you could do PvP in a freighter type setup where different people could operate different parts of the freighter. I mean, that's a wish list, but dang, that's a drool list right there.
Oh, yeah.
I'll say one thing, having conversations and just letting the auto launch and auto dock do its magic, not having to worry about it while I'm talking. I'm being lazy right now.
Oh, that's what makes using that great. That, especially when you're flying these huge ass ships.
Oh, I can dock and take off. I'm just being lazy.
So many criminal masterminds.
Although I have gotten into the habit when the auto launch gets lined up at the gate and it starts to accelerate, I just floor it from that point forward. I'm like, 3, 2, 1, launch.
Yes. So hopefully they will have it where we can have more than one freighter in the system at a time. Hopefully that's one of the things that they're going to do. There are hubs in the game already that are set up by player groups, where you go to a planet, they give you the coordinates for a planet. They give it to you in a set of numbers. Then you go to a website and the numbers show you what the symbols are, what the glyphs are for the portals. You can go to that planet and you can leave a message orb behind. There's message pods that you can leave behind for people. You go to this planet, you'll see dozens, hundreds of them all over the place from people who met up there and left messages behind. And there are several player hubs that were set up of different groups, large empires, basically, that players have naturally put together themselves. And we're hoping that that's going to be a supported feature in the game, that it will actually have tools in the game that will let players create their own factions and everything. I'm not saying that it is in the game. That's our part of our wish list. And given how Hello Games has responded positively to the players having those groups, it's likely they will have support for that baked in.
Is this truly a system in the bubble that has not been scanned yet?
Huh.
I normally have all the scan data because it's all shared now, but...
Wouldn't be a surprise, since most people would probably just skip through a system.
Well, this is supposed to be a, medium security or high security system. I would have expected somebody to have already been here.
I am full loaded.
Oh, there's a lot of...
A lot of what?
Locations here.
Alright. That's where I'm going for my passenger missions. Oh. Lots of speculation on the multiplayer side. We know they're going to expand the multiplayer. They're going to bring in some features that are indicative. They've said features that are kind of what you would see common in an MMO.
What was interesting about it is they said common to MMOs, but they said they started excluding like certain things. Like they said, won't have microtransactions, won't have a subscription. The list of exclusions was just as interesting as what they didn't say.
Yes.
Because they're saying, well, these are all MMO features that are common, but we're not going to do them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's as telling as kind of what they are going to have, in a way of saying, okay, well, if this is the list they're not doing, what is the list then?
Yeah. We still don't know the full. They still, to this day, have not told us everything. And they probably aren't.
How many days are we out?
Yeah, like, what, 2 weeks?
It's less than 2 weeks. Fine. It's closing on 1 week.
Closing on 1 week, yeah.
A couple more days, and it'll be 1 week.
Now, the other thing we know know a lot more about is the VR side.
Well,
Because
yeah, I think that was deliberate, and I think what they did was smart, because they let the media play it.
yeah,
And with that, they kind of, these are people that didn't necessarily, like No Man's Sky when it came out. There were critics and everything. And so in a way, by letting them play it, it made it more trustworthy. If these people are going to be, it's always been fun to make fun or, rail on No Man's Sky and stuff like that. And in a way, this has, by letting the people that would be the most critical of No Man's Sky play it, and then them to come out and say, yo, actually, this is actually pretty dang good for VR, speaks volumes for the quality of the VR update. And they needed that, because people needed time to be able to save up and to be able to get VR. This wait has served to help people get into it, where they, save up for it or whatever, because now they know there's a game they would want in it.
yeah. Whether you're on PC or PlayStation 4, because it supports PSVR as well. And on the PC side, as I said, it supports those new controllers for the Valve Index.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that really goes a long way to saying, yeah, this is something worth getting. So they were smart about how they handled, they didn't give too much away, although at least Geck walked now. But they didn't give too much away but still keeping it, doing the right thing for getting VR, the information for VR out there so people can have a chance to be ready for it.
Yeah. And
They did that right.
letting members of the No Man's Sky YouTube community post videos about it, saying how good it was. The ones that ones they invited to their offices to try it, which they invited quite a few of them. I think
It was mostly media. No, it was mostly media.
Mostly media? Huh.
Yeah, I don't think there was any community players that got a chance to mess with it.
I thought they invited L Plays and Cobra TV.
No, they never got a chance to see it that way.
Ah.
It was just, it was only like IGN and all those guys.
Them.
That's why I'm saying it's most impressive that they let them play it, and them being harsh critics of everything. That with them playing it and them singing its praises, saying, yeah, this is great for VR. This really works out well. That speaks volume of the update's quality in terms of at least the VR part.
Okay.
That they did VR correctly, that everyone liked it.
Yeah. I was pretty certain that they had invited those other guys.
No, they never got to play it.
Ah.
They should have given them the opportunity, but they didn't. They didn't.
Sucks.
Yeah, a little surprising, actually.
Yeah. Because L Plays and both L Plays and Cobra TV have been their biggest supporters.
Well, L Plays, Legacy Zero, Cobra TV, and there's like two others that are pretty big.
Yeah.
That have been. Cobra's been there probably the longest.
Oh yeah, he's been there from the beginning. He's never left.
He was hyping the game before it even launched. So I don't know I don't know when the others came in.
He is basically No Man's Sky's Obsidian Ant.
Yeah, I would wager that.
It's Obsidian Ant.
Every game's usually got its number one top YouTuber guy that everyone knows that this is the dude you talk to if you want to talk about this game.
I mean, for
Cobra TV, Mr. Happy, you know, those guys are Biffa for City Skylines, for example.
Fuel scooping.
And his sip of tea.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get me a sip of dew.
Scoop me up some fuel without burning up.
But actuality, as far as the third part goes, well, okay, first off, that trailer, my opinion about that cube, that shows up at the verse, like 2 seconds of the trailer is gone.
Yeah.
My opinion, I'm going to put this on the record. My opinion about that cube is that is a hollow terminal for the marketplace. And the reason I think that could be a hollow terminal is if we're allowed to construct ships, we would need a way to sell them. And if you're buying them, you would want to be able to see them. Existing market terminals can't do that, and especially for VR. There were all kinds of terminals around that thing, like an auction house like you see in Final Fantasy XI and other games, where you have multiple stations to access the market. And so you go to that, you would access the market, and the hologram would show you what the ship you're purchasing would look like, or the part or vehicle or whatever it might be. That's a theory. The other theory is that space is bigger, and then it stows your ship, and that's so you could retrieve your ship, a.k.a. Star Citizen style, but I kind of doubt that. I think it might be a marketplace.
Yeah.
And that's the hologram for showing what you're buying. If it has a renderable thing that it shows your purchase and what you're auctioning on. That's my theory on that.
No, there was another video. There was another video from another channel. I think it's MZ. Is it MZK?
Yeah, MZK. He's another good one.
Yeah, he did a video recently where he was analyzing the short trailer, the teaser trailer, and someone in the comments said that the roof of that room looked like the bottom floor of the stations. That might be an expanded part of the space station.
Possible. You go down there, and then the thing is, there are ships down there. Now those could be ships for purchase, like a dealership, or it could be a ship under construction. It could be a construction zone. There's all kinds of parts and crates and boxes and bins all over the place down there.
Or a private area for your character down there.
Housing, that's another possibility. Although that's a little redundant with the bases.
Yeah.
You kind of really don't need private housing for bases.
Would make more sense if it was some kind of marketplace for selling ships that you build.
It's either a utility site for construction, or it is a marketplace, an expanded marketplace. I think it could be a little bit of both. But that explains why there's boxes scattered all over the place. Boxes and boxes. Couldn't help it.
Boxes.
So I think that's a big possibility. Now it could be part of the station. It could be on the surface. It could be in a station. It could be an entire new facility. It could be inside another ship. Oh, that's cool. There's a star system back there and a star system over here. Okay. I found 2 stars orbiting each other with a little system all around them. It's actually kind of cool looking from a distance. But, I am surprised that nobody scanned this system. I am in the middle of the bubble and no one's been here? That can't be. Because I thought the scan data was shared.
I think it is.
Sell my data someplace, and
because I've been into systems that I've never been to before, and it still shows. I get names.
Well, that's what I'm saying is
everything.
When you use the scanner, now it's all shared. So if one person scans it, everybody sees it. But I'm in the middle of the bubble, and I had to scan this system to find anything in it. I might have been someplace nobody's been to yet in the bubble. At least not since that update.
Mission objective complete.
All right.
anyway, let's say, yeah. So it could be that. It could be. I mean, those are the most common.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing, as far as the third update as well. I think there's a big possibility they won't tell us anything about it. Not until just literally not at all. They're not going to say anything. And I'll tell you why I think this. A lot of people say they like it. A lot of people say they won't. And Cobra says, well, there's nothing for those people to get excited about. Well, kind of yes and kind of no. And maybe you're not, I'm going to have this feature, I'm going to have that feature, I'm going to have this feature. Well, they've given us that before. They gave us it with Visions, they gave us it with Abyss, and you're like, oh, here's all those things, and like, where's that rock that jumps out of the ground? Where's that spiky thing that runs across the ground? So you went looking for spiky thing and rocky thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happens if they didn't tell you that those were in there?
Mm-hmm.
And so the first time you come across it, you're just kind of minding your own business. And next thing you know, this rock jumps out of the ground. You're like, oh, crap, what's that? And then you're like, you see this thing coming out of, so, hold on, I'm being, somebody talking to me here. Yeah, permission granted. Come on, shut up. Okay, this guy talks a lot for an announcer. Okay, so, I think, what's he saying? Crap. Oh, like the spiky thing. If you didn't see that, you didn't know that was coming, you'd be afraid this thing was going to jump out of the ground or something. You wouldn't know what it's going to do. But they showed it to us already.
Yeah.
So the mystery was gone. And one of the things that No Man's Sky 1.0 had, despite its failings, was mystery. You didn't know what was actually in it. You never knew. And players played for a long time just trying to uncover, like they would do things in certain areas of the game would change color and stuff, and they'd be like trying to figure it out and trying to figure out what it meant. And they was all this mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had mystery with the ARG, Season 1 and Season 2. Mystery,
oh, yeah.
Mystery. And now we have no mystery because they tell us everything. What happens if they don't tell us anything this time? What if this update has as much content as next? Much new content in that third update, and they don't tell us anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then you never know if you've ever found it all. You could go 200 planets and see something new for the first time that jumps out at you, and you're like, whoa. It's like, what is that? And then everyone tells about it on YouTube, and everyone's making this list of all these stuff, and, Hello Games just goes, oh, there's more. You haven't found it all yet. The exploration, the mystery would be back, and we haven't had that since Next. Or
Yeah.
before Next. Since Atlas Rises, we have not really had mystery.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, my feeling is there's a good bet, there's good logic to think that they may put mystery back in the game by simply not telling you what's in it. At this point, before I'd kind of question whether or not they would do that. At this point, I'm not going to sell anything here because they don't have a market board. No, this is just shit. I did all this work on this motherfucking market board here. Alright. There ain't nothing else I can land at here. Next. Okay, so anyway, that's what I think. I think they're putting mystery back in the game. And they're not going to tell us. They might give us some highlights.
Yeah. We probably wouldn't even get a launch trailer. Well, we might, and they might tell us a little bit, but they're not going to tell us everything.
I think they will, but I'll tell you what'll be in it. I think they will, and I'll tell you what'll be in it.
Yeah.
VR and online, and that'll be it. And everyone's going to freak out because they're not going to tell us anything about the third part. They're like, come on already, tell us something.
Yes.
And they're like, no, we wait, go play it when it launches. No! Tell us!
There's been so much speculation because Sean Murray tweeted the word cities. Just cities. We don't know if that was related to anything. that was really the No Man's Sky,
imagine-
or what? Now we
Yeah,
we
just
know that they
imagine
have a
if,
guy that is a procedurally generated city expert.
Just imagine if they replaced the center of the galaxy with a massive city.
Yeah.
And that way, there's a reason to go there. And then you go there, and it gives you things you need to get to other galaxies. And you got to go find like a super gate or something.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to get to the center of the galaxy to unlock the feature. Now there's a reason to go there.
Yeah.
Then you can
Orbital
traverse
flight
multiple
engaged.
galaxies. Then you can really explore.
You're,
Now, see,
okay.
this system is already scanned.
Hmm.
So I already have scan data for this. I couldn't even see the bases in that other system until I scanned it. I might get my name on some planets in this bubble. Maybe. So, yeah, I think the online is definitely going to have some of the basics. Now, whether online is going to go as far as parties and raids, that's questionable. Parties, guild halls, guilds, groupings, chat, all that stuff we're going to have.
Yeah.
Whether or not we're going to get raids of any kind, or, any kind of boss-like content where you have to have a party of 4 to go take it down or something, that I don't know. I feel like that's pushing it for...
Damn, those are some high mountains.
Where are you at?
I'm headed for, what do you call it? Quad's Vision.
Okay. I told you Quad's Vision was in that area.
Yeah.
But, what was I saying? Shit. What was I saying? What was I saying?
No, the No Man's Sky, they weren't gonna tell us anything, probably.
Oh, I was talking about online. Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
online,
I was talking
yeah.
about parties. I
Parties.
was talking about parties, and I was saying that, that I don't know if they really would do things where you do like raid level content. I think that maybe that might be pushing it a little bit. I mean, it'd be great. I think it needs it. And loot, like LZ has talked about a lot. I think loot, trophies for stuff like that would be great. Unique trophies and stuff for doing raid content, abandoned stations, abandoned freighters, abandoned planetary bases and dungeons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll add that kind of content, but that would be great if they did it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 20 miles or kilometers out from Quad's Vision.
DeLacy, Tango, Hotel, Echo. This port is under independent control. Submit a request before docking.
I really don't spend that much time in Imperial space. I'm not used to hearing all these people and these voices. I just don't spend a lot of time here.
Hmm.
Well, I was in Seoul, and what I did to pick my marketplace is I picked medium and high security systems because I don't really have a ship that can fight well yet. And I picked the furthest point down, and on a Z-axis from Seoul that I could find that would pass path with the thing, and then routed my thing through there. And so I'm going to each of those systems and selling 1 unit of cargo at each one.
Yeah.
As I gotta deal with 50 markets. Okay, this one has a market. I gotta sell in 50 markets.
Approval granted. Land on designated plan number 16.
So I've been just going from market to market and selling 1 unit until I make it. And I've already got the gold. So once I'm done, I'll over to Li Cheng, turn in the gold, and I'm good to go.
Yeah. Now we know that they actually have a person on staff at Hello Games that is a sort of an expert on procedurally generated cities.
Yes, not Sean Bean. Sean Bean. No, he'd wind up getting killed. The Geck would get him. The Geck would get him if he was.
The Sean Bean meme. Every movie he's in, he dies.
If it was Sean Bean, the Geck would get him.
The Geck did it with the multi-tool in the kitchen.
Something like that. Sam Swain, that's his name.
You're on the deck. Engaging docking restraints.
So, did you check the chat?
Nobody in chat yet.
Okay. So anyway, so he's an expert in procedural generation. I tell you what, I feel like we've seen some of his work. The new base parts, I feel like, are his. Because when you look at his work that he's done on his site, and you compare that to the existing base parts, there are somewhat similarities to them. And you can see how the new base parts would be choppable in the kind of blocks and parts that he uses. So I feel like the building system that he has, the construction parts that we got that don't fit the old base parts, I feel like those belong to him. Those are his work. That's what I feel. Now, I can't confirm that, but just comparing his work to the way those parts operate really makes me think those parts are his designs.
Yeah.
I think we have seen Sam Swain's work, just not in the way that we would want to see it. And that's in actual dungeons and stuff, but the parts exist. It's just a matter of him going in and putting that into code.
Yeah.
So is it possible they could add dungeons and stuff like that? We don't know. It'd be cool, though. It needs it. It'd be awesome, but we don't know yet.
Oh, yeah.
Now, here's a question. Are we going to stream No Man's Sky VR when it pops?
Yeah. Yep, that's my intention.
Landing gear retracted.
Detachment complete. Your way is clear for departure.
Frameshift drive charging.
Now, as far as the VR part goes, I think my opinion on that, now maybe I'm wrong, but my opinion on that is going to be the definitive game to have for VR.
Yeah.
I think that is going to be the game to own. It's going to bring in a lot of players to No Man's Sky because people who have VR, who may not necessarily have thought of No Man's Sky as a game they would want to try, I think when that comes out, it's going to be something they're going to try and they're going to like, and people who, may have thrown No Man's Sky to the wayside at the beginning, now playing it in VR, it's going to, who might still own, the game, who may not have it installed, might just install it and try it and see if they like it, and come to find out, they haven't seen it since launch, and they look at it now and they're like, oh my God, what have they done? I mean, imagine somebody who saw it at launch, was kind of like, well, this would be cool, but it sucks. If they would have done more with this, it would be cool, but it sucks. And so they put it to the side and they didn't keep track of it. And they heard about all these other updates, and they hear, they're putting it in VR. And this person would happen to own a PSVR for other stuff. And they're like, you know what, let me give it a try. So they reinstall the game, and they own a copy of it, they just don't have it installed. They reinstall, and they haven't seen it since 1.0. Imagine their shock and surprise when they start that sucker up.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be stunning. I mean, let's take somebody, for example, let's say Angry Joe. Angry Joe was really looking forward to No Man's Sky, and he was very disappointed in what he got. And he really wanted to like this game, too.
Yeah.
He really was excited about it, and so he was really upset. And then reasonably, within reason. I don't blame him. I mean, even I was like, WTF,
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, I don't blame him. He had a right to be. And so I don't know if he's, I don't know if he's played enough, but he's probably still owns a copy of it. Now, let's say that he has not played it since and not even bothered to keep track of it. Now, we do know that Angry Joe likes VR. He played the Star Trek game. That was fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
The Star Trek VR,
Bridge Crew.
What's that?
Star Trek Bridge Crew.
Yeah, he loved that. So let's say that now he hasn't seen it since launch. Let's say that's his only memory of it. And so he hasn't seen any of the new content. Let's just say he hasn't kept track.
Yeah.
What would be his experience coming back to No Man's Sky in 2 years, not having seen anything, not knowing what to expect, and see No Man's Sky today? Not just with Next, but with the VR and the third update and the online and everything that was in Next and all the new planets and all the base building, and it just go on and on and on and on and on since launch. Yeah. He's going to be in shock.
Yeah, about how different it is. Like the main story, the main scenario story that's in the game now.
There is one. There wasn't one before.
Yeah, there wasn't one before. And now you have a mission system similar to this game.
Yeah.
Where you can do missions and you can earn rank with a specific faction. With not specific faction, but with the specific races. It's a little more. It's not as complex as this game. It's simplistic. There's no factions. You're more earning reputation with a specific race, with the geek, the Korvax, and the crap.
I just wish that
Viking.
Elite Dangerous and No Man's Sky would have a love child, because honestly, that would be the best game ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then that love child had a game. What's that video we watched the other day with all that gameplay?
That was Warframe.
Warframe. Okay, so
Yeah, that was the Razorjack
Elite
update.
Dangerous, No Man's Sky and Warframe, that new content that they're doing for Warframe, and put those three together. Oh my God, that would be the most incredible thing ever.
You can have fleets of ships, and you can send some of your ships. You can have exploration vessels. You can have trading vessels and combat vessels.
Which game are you talking about?
No Man's Sky.
Okay, just being clear, because that was kind of ambiguous there.
And imagine if you could send out you could send out your combat vessel to do missions, and you joined them. You docked your little fighter on their ship. You got inside, and they jumped out of the system. And you jump into this battle in space. And your ship, your big capital ship, is there fighting a battle in space. You get into your fighter and you help out. And then at some point, you jump out of your fighter in space, and you use retro packs on your suit to get into the enemy ship and disable systems.
Yeah.
That would be
so
cool.
Badass. Oh, not only can you do that alone, you can do it in a party.
Yes, that would be badass.
Either be NPC battles, or that could be. Imagine a PvP battle with that. That you had two fleets side by that all 30 ships are involved. All 30 ships are involved. They all show up. You know, the scientific vessels pull to the back and are doing special effects, and you know, you've got your combat ships up front doing waylays. You've got your, you know, other ships that are non-combat, kind of pulling off the side, maybe using other techniques. You've got people that are, you know, going across and trying to infiltrate the ships. You got people on board trying to defend it. I mean, by God, that would be so much fun.
Because we read some of the mission descriptions of some of the missions that they were on. Like, they infiltrated a pirate ship disguised as pirates to be a part of an auction or something, and some other stuff. It's like,
it's all flavor text, but
yeah,
if they could turn that into real gameplay, and you could join in on it, just do that. Just do that, and you'll have one of the best things ever. And you could do that in VR with all the other content the game has to offer. Oh my God, that would be. Oh, that would be incredible.
Yeah. And then maybe give No Man's Sky the flight mechanics of Elite Dangerous. The flight mechanics of this.
Do that, but at least they can improve it somewhat.
Yeah.
If you're going to dock with a thing like that, give us 6 access controls. I mean, because you can virtualize the HOTAS if they have to with the wands and stuff.
Yeah. The game. That's how the game will be playable. Is with the controllers, with the motion controllers. That's how it will be playable in VR.
That's going to be neat, because I've seen some of the extra videos that leaked from that one, and you hold up your multi-tool, and on your multi-tool is a new panel that you can select your, you know, weapon type, and then on your other arm, sort of like the way, if you saw Captain America for what it was worth, the armband that she had, that she was controlling, it's sort of like what you have for recharging your suits and stuff. So you hold up your arm, and it's sort of like a Pip-Boy kind of orientation. Not like a Pip-Boy, not like big and bulky, but more sleek.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly. So that would be just so cool.
Oh, yeah. What's the difference between influence and reputation?
Okay. Influence, reputation is directly how much the faction likes you.
Okay.
That's the faction's, I think, the short answer is that's how much the faction likes you. Also, if they're associated with a superpower and you get reputation, that superpower likes you more too. Influence is, when you get influence, is you're increasing that faction's influence in the system. You're increasing their strength in the star system that they're in. So if you're trying to do like a certain thing with a faction, you're trying to make it stronger to go to war with another faction. If you see that they're naturally opposed to another existing faction and you want to make them stronger, you gain influence. You do things to make them gain influence. And as they get stronger, they might be able to start going to war or compete or have an election or whatever their state is in comparison to the other one. Like, you might cause a conflict, you might cause a civil war, you might cause an election, or you might cause them to go into a boom state, or you might knock somebody else out of a boom state. It changes the background simulation when you're working with influence.
Okay.
I don't understand all the mechanics behind it and all the details, but I know it basically has to do with that. Reputation is what you want to earn in terms of your association with that faction. And that's what unlocks all their higher level missions and stuff. The better reputation, the more you can do influence. I may have gotten that completely wrong, but that's my understanding of how it works.
Well, I've almost maxed out the reputation on the 3 factions here in Robingo.
Yeah, you will. What are the names of them?
Cirrus Corporation.
Oh, you're going to need that for an engineer. That's one of the ones that really help.
CDE Corporation. and Roberto Cartel. I've maxed out Roberto Cartel and Cirrus.
Friendly with the Alliance. I'm almost there. Wei Cheng, I am 32 of 50.
Yep, I am
Not done selling yet.
allied with Roberto Cartel. Allied with Cirrus Corporation. Friendly with CDE Corporation.
If you get Marco Quint, if you notice a lot of those data delivery missions, if you were doing data delivery missions between Cios and Sothis, you can get a lot of modular terminals there. And you can pretty much unlock him real easy. All you got to do is go get the Sirius system permit, and you basically got him. I forgot his meeting requirement. I think it's just you got to... I think I'd have to go back and look what the meeting requirement is. I know, don't show up early. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
This and the mining were have both been really grindy. I'm hoping the other engineers are not quite as bad. I think these are the worst too. But yeah, if you could just put certain games together and take the feature sets that make those games great. But that thing that they showed, what was it, Warframe?
Yes.
I'm sorry, but I'm not a Warframe player. Not that I don't like it. I just have never got into it. But that tempts me to go check that out.
I used to stream that every Wednesday.
Who? What?
I used to stream Warframe every Wednesday.
Yeah, but that made me take a long thinking look at that and go, maybe that's something I want to get into.
It was fun. It was very fun.
That update drops, that just looked like it was so much fun. That's how you do multiplayer in space like that.
Yes.
Where you got all those mechanics all playing out at once. Inside ships, outside ships, on bases, in space, inside ships and outside. It's like the whole works was there. It just looked like it was just a ton of that to me was just badass.
Where you had a Battle of Endor-like situation up in space with a big ship with a shield around it being projected from the planet. And then down on the planet's surface, you had this group set up a receiver, and they picked up on that there was a mission was available from other players up in space, saying, "Hey, attack this shield facility. Take it down. Take this shield projector down." And so this group on the surface, at the same time this battle's going on in space, goes and takes on the shield projector, takes it down. Once the shield projector is down, the group in space can then go in and disable the big ship in orbit.
Yeah, it's a dynamic mission system. Because one group was doing one thing and they needed support, they put out a mission element like that, and that became a quest for other players. That was so cool. And just the ability that, you've got that whole... Nemesis system going on at the same time. You've got all the other stuff going on at the same time. It's just all happening at once. And all that made it really complex and really just that is emergent gameplay. That is so cool.
Yeah.
That's what No Man's Sky.
Look at
That's the
all
kind of
this.
system they need to implement. It's like Sean Murray wants to have something ambitious. That's ambitious. Getting that to work in No Man's Sky would be ambitious. That would be challenging. It would be hard. You like the hard stuff? Put that in there. That's the hard stuff.
Yeah. Now, as for Elite Dangerous, there's been so much lost potential with this game.
I don't know. This game just, it has an identity crisis. It's trying to be everything to everybody, and it's failing on all counts. And, I mean, it's got some good stuff to it, but it doesn't know what it wants to be. It wants to be an exploration game, but doesn't treat that very well. It wants to be a PvP game, but it's not balanced very well. You know, it's like you're trying to be this, and it's like there's all these different elements it's trying to be, and it's having trouble being any of them very well.
Yeah.
Multiplayer, and it can barely do multiplayer. Hold on.
I'd say it probably does it better than Star Citizen.
Star Citizen is just a dumpster fire. I'm just going to stop right there and just go, Star Skimmer is a dumpster fire. Not Star Skimmer, Star Citizen.
Star Citizen, yeah.
It's a dumpster fire. It's game that would, if they would get themselves focused on their core of what they are and just finish it, they would do all right. But they're trying to do all this content, and they want a complete 100%, thing before.
Whoa.
They want to fly before they can crawl, essentially. And they're just. I don't know. I question whether or not they're going to make their goals to the point of actually having a successful game. And the problem is, if they fail, it's going to be a mess. Because if they fail, they're gonna take a lot of the Kickstarter type community kind of with it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a big stick in the mud for the Kickstarter community. It's gonna hurt that.
No, because
it's been through so much money.
I know.
And so little to show for it. That's what's the stunning part. It's not that what their ideas are bad. Their ideas are fine, but they've been through so much money.
I know. They've earned a lot, and what I understand, they're rushing to try and finish Squadron 42, and because someone had said that they were running low on money.
Oh, I'm sure they are. Well, here's the thing. Item number one, they should have never tried to do Squadron 42 and Star Citizen at the same time.
Yeah.
Those should not have been done at the same time.
Yeah.
Those should have been
They have
separate.
They have two separate studios working on it.
Right, and that's all that extra money, and it's too expensive. What they should have done is did Squadron 42 to start bringing in income.
Mm-hmm.
Make the easier game first. Get the market flow going. Get a revenue stream away. Get the revenue stream away from Kickstarter. Maybe still allow donations and other things, but allow Squadron 42 to be. To help them with revenue, to get money coming in, to get that into a supported level, and then work on, okay, here's all this lore, here's all this backstory, and we're going to expand on all this. In my opinion, though, it doesn't make much sense to have, in one respect, it's kind of weird for Squadron 42 to be a separate game, because I thought all that was supposed to be All-Star Citizen.
Well,
so I always thought that was weird anyway.
Squadron 42 was going to be the game that introduced everyone to the lore of the game world. It's going to be a this huge single-player adventure game. It's starring a whole bunch of major actors. They've got Gillian Anderson in it. They've got Mark Hamill. Lots of.
Those people are cheap? You think those people are cheap?
No.
I mean, you give them enough money and they'll be in any game you want. You pay their bills. Hey, you just give them some work. They're that's what they do. They're actors. You hire them. You say, hey, will you come be a part of my project? And if they agree, they come and they do that what they're good at, and they make your voice, your characters, come alive with character and style and everything that they can bring, and it's great, and you're gonna pay the bill, and it's gonna be expensive. So sure, I mean, they really should have kept the first one simple.
Yeah.
They should have kept it simple. Get it out the door. Get more lore in it than anything else. Just give us a taste to keep us going and get a revenue stream going.
Okay, I just checked the chat, and someone asked, "Can you trade credits?" No. Not in Elite Dangerous.
No, you can't do that.
No.
Usually, if there's going to be any kind of transfers of any kind of wealth, usually what'll happen is somebody, if you want to get, if you're going to pay somebody, what you would do is you'd go buy some cargo, and you would transfer it to them.
Yeah.
There's a group in the game that will do things, but you have to pay them, and you pay them in certain types of cargo drops.
Yeah. Yep. And then there's groups like the Fuel Rats who will basically work for free.
Yeah,
they're an all volunteer group.
They work for cheese.
But they're an all volunteer group.
They're there to show that you can have nice players in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been through some pretty amazing rescues too.
Oh yeah.
There's one lady who got herself way out there at the end of Beagle Point.
Mm-hmm.
And she just went out there and out there. And I think she's got the record for the furthest out so far. And the Fuel Rats had to put a monumental effort to rescuing her.
They had to use NASA tactics in order to calculate exactly where she is.
Jump ranges and fuels, and they had to have a chain of ships all in a row, and it was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
This game has its really nice moments. When the developers aren't busy being douchebags, it can actually be really, really good.
Flight engaged.
Sometimes the developers are really, really nice, and sometimes they're just dirtbags. And what I mean by that is the whole what's that ship, that Thargoid incident that they had a while back?
Oh, with the Gnosis?
The Gnosis, yeah. It's what the hell were you thinking, people? What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
And then you bug it out by not properly disabling the local fire zone. What a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was a fiasco. Here's what I think happened, though. I don't think they were trying to be douchebags. I think they thought they were trying to do something fun. I think they thought their intent probably was, hey, let's do something cool by having this unexpected encounter and have these, people always say, well, you never see the Thargoids attack a station, and so let's do this really cool event. So I can see this going on in the back rooms there at FDev, thinking, let's do this. And like everything else they do, their plans are great, but the execution... the execution is, shall we say, something left to be desired. So I don't think they're intentionally douchebags per se, but their ability to get it right just sucks. But what really gets me is when they ignore things like, for example, multi-crew has been broken forever. It's like they added the feature and they've just forgot it existed. Multiplayer in general is kind of janky.
Yeah.
It's been that way forever. There have been bugs that have been part of the UI and part of the game since forever. And this response to those are like, yeah, whatever, we don't care. It's like they just don't respond. They just okay, it's a bug, yeah, okay, we got it in our tracker, which sometimes is bugs too. And these things just don't get fixed, and they just sit around forever, and it's like, why? Just fix them. You've got all these people working on this game. Can't you give it to some dude in the corner, that say, hey, could you go fix this? For example, the UI color scheme.
Oh, and just to let people in the chat know, I can't see the chat without taking off the VR headset.
We don't have a way to do it.
We don't have a way of putting the chat window in the game. There's software for it, but it's a piece of shit.
Yeah, it can be done, but it is extremely difficult.
Yeah. So
I
I'm
found a good way to do it.
I'm gonna have to periodically look at the chat window to see what people say. Okay,
And
go on.
we can't just monitor it, is the thing.
Yeah.
What was I saying?
Oh, crap.
That's what you have when you have a couple of 40-year-old gamers.
What am I doing?
We're practicing our senior moments. We're in senior moment training.
Please make your way to landing pad 15.
Get off my lawn!
Our training's coming along just fine. Just fine. What was that, Sonny? I don't remember, Sonny. Whippersnappers?
I remember in my day when we played games, we had to touch wires together to control our games, and we liked it. Didn't have them fancy buttons and joysticks. We had to hit wires together, and the sparks flying. So broken. What were we saying?
Hold on, I've got a bit of a problem here.
Yeah. 133 133T Linux H4XOR. Yeah. Yeah, you could go. You could like hire someone to help you with mining and like share resources and stuff. Like you can open your car, you can dump stuff out of your cargo bay and they could have limpets ready to just grab it. That's what usually they do. But this game has got such missed potentials all over the place. You were talking about stuff that didn't even get fixed most of the time.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was very distracted because I had a Type 10 that was trying to eat me for lunch.
Ah. Nom 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 nom.
I am now scooping up the remains of his ship.
Ah. You're the one that went nom 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 nom.
Yeah, I'm having him for lunch. Oh, chemical distillery. He was worth it.
Oh.
Shielding sensors, high density composites.
Damn.
Oh, he was worth it.
Okay, that you did blow up a ship. You popped open a pinata.
Nice goodness there.
Ooh, all that juicy cargo.
All that juicy cargo.
That's what the NPCs say before they interdict you. All that juicy. The thing is, now they're really gonna go after you. So many criminal masterminds. Yeah, the last time I tried taking these guys on a trip, yeah, I got blown up. Well, I've got quite a few on board now.
That was the expert level Type 10 defender is what that was after me.
Huh. Okay.
I'm not dumb done with this ship either. But I did have some help with some local authorities, though. Alright, what was I doing? I don't even remember. What was I... crap, where was I? Okay, I was headed there. Okay, I'm sorry, I was very distracted by what was going on here.
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
But one of the things that could have been done with this game is... One of the things that could have been done is this could have had like a main scenario that was tied into power play.
Oh,
and
wait a minute. I gotta do it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's personal narrative. Come on, I gotta learn from the masters, right? Personal narrative.
Personal narrative. You know, Frontier, they earned a guy like Yamix to be their biggest critic.
Yeah.
But,
He is cynicism incarnate.
yes. Although his latest videos when he was talking about stuff that they were doing, he almost sounded optimistic, and I go, you're kind of giving him a little too much credit.
Yeah, I think what it is I think, you know, he's a criticism. He has a lot of criticism, but he just wants the game to be good.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he wants. He wants the game to be done well, and that's the thing is they don't seem to, you know, have that same interest, it seems sometimes.
No. Like, our play really could have been something special. They could have you can grind out ranks in this game. Your faction, the ranks for the different empires. There's the Alliance, there's the Empire, there is the Federation. And you have ranks with them, and some ships are locked to specific ranks. Except for the Alliance.
Places they could have put a lot of narrative story at.
Yeah, and they could have
had whole storylines behind that and earning that rank.
Could have put narrative stories into power play and made it to where you had to play power play in order to get those ranks.
And each of the major powers, depending on, you know, like the different, you know, named powers would actually have their own narrative story. So if you really wanted to get all the different stories, you could go through each one of them if you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could pick one and just go through that and really just, you know, max it out. And it would, to make it worth going to getting the next chapter of that story, make that grind worth it.
Mm-hmm.
To reward you for all that grind, at least to some degree.
Otherwise, I mean, it's really not worth it unless you're wanting certain weapon unlocks, which you have to wait a week for.
4 weeks.
4 weeks for, like the swarm missiles. I think there was like a different kind of minigun, multi-cannon that you can get. Swarm missiles might be interesting.
Railgun. That NPC must have used a railgun. I had hull damage and my shields never dropped.
Ready then.
I'll carry a few extra limpets. See if I can sell this combat bonds. 106K, he just paid for the repairs. And there's no market here. I came all this way and there's no market.
What do I prefer when pirate hunting? For one of the engineers, I'm gonna need 100,000 bonds. Or 10,000 bonds.
Nope.
No?
Nope, you won't.
Won't?
I've been figured that out. This ship I am maxing out, and I've come to discover you don't need him.
Ah, okay.
Yep, I found that out. You don't need him.
You don't need him.
He's down a chain of engineers that don't offer nothing you need.
Huh.
Yep, I've been through it. I've been looking at all of that, and you don't need him. Because I engineered this ship with everything maxed out, and I looked at the engineers and what they gave and who gave what. I don't need him.
So
I mean, you
Todd
can
the
join
Blaster,
if you
we won't
wanted,
need him.
But you don't need him.
So we don't need Todd the Blaster.
No, not Todd the Blaster. Combat bonds or bounty vouchers. They're different.
This is...
What should be you're talking about? Todd the Blaster is easy.
Bounty bounty vouchers.
Oh, that's easy. That's easy. That ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Go hang around
Lasers and good lasers for taking down shields and multi-cannons for peeling off holes. It's basically that. The classics. I mean, this is an Anaconda I'm flying. This thing is not a dogfighter. This thing turns like a truck.
Well, it's not bad. If
It's
well
not
armored, it can be pretty good.
Yeah. I mean...
Anacondas are still something to reckon with if they're well engineered.
Yeah, I've got everything on turrets. So I've got 4 lasers on here. That's still gonna do hull damage. And 2 multi-cannons. I should probably swap those out for really big ones.
Well, I'm flying a Federal Corvette. I'm going to highly engineer it. I'm in the process of unlocking those engineers now. I was going to do a close stand up for the whole process for the bonds, but
Yeah.
okay. I found out I really don't need it, but I still want to be able to do it. I still want to be able to get all the engineers unlocked. You just don't need him to do anything.
Okay.
You don't have to have him, but he's good for a certain... I mean, there's stuff down that path, but you don't have to do it.
Now, what does Professor Palin offer?
Drive thrusters. The grade 5 thrusters.
Okay.
You definitely want him. He's on my list of things to do too, except what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the Guardian frameshift drive booster, and then I'll go for his 5,000 light year trip.
I wonder if I should...
run out the Colonia and back.
Wonder if I should drop these Seeker missile packs for something else.
What ship are you flying?
Anaconda. Maybe put on 2 more turret multi-cannons.
I would say your 2 big ones, gimbal those, and then you can turret the rest. Your 2 big ones, though, make those gimbaled.
Okay.
And then let your 2 big ones be your beam and your multi-cannon, and let your other ones be your external defenses. So they defend around you and set them to fire at will, so they can keep ships off you. Basically, swat away annoyances, and then you fly the ship to where you point it at what you're targeting, and then take it out with your big guns. That's how I fly this one. So that way that you're covered on all quarters. This ship's problem is it's got nothing that really covers its rear. Its weakness is its back quarter rear, lower section. I don't know what section you call that in Navy terms, but basically the back rear lower section is very vulnerable.
Yeah.
There's no guns that really point that direction. That's where the fighter helps. Kind of give you some cover fire back there, and your 2 side guns, the 2 side cannons can cover that a little bit, but there's really nothing back there. But every other corner is actually pretty well protected.
They don't have multi-cannons. Crap.
Yeah, you have to look. You have to use EDDB or one of those to find.
They have railguns. You have to be really good with those.
Yeah, I'm not that good a combat pilot. I can do it, but I'm not good at it. So, I mean, some people are really, really good, and they can land shots like lickety easy and everything else like that. And I'm like, nah. Unexplored. Really? All right. Here's from the start here and look the system over. Oh, yeah. love how this FSS thing, when you're in VR, has you just floating in the middle of space. I could admit it looked like you're looking through a piece of equipment or something,
Yeah.
rather than just floating as a disembodied being in the middle of space with a gadget floating in the middle of nothingness.
I know. Could have been better.
There's a lot of this game that could have been better. There was so much promise. It's an okay game to play, and it's like I said, the one thing it does master is killing time. Nothing kills time like this game. And when I'm waiting for No Man's Sky, this thing does it. It kills time. The question is it time well spent?
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, I like to fly the ships. I think, it's the one thing the game really has that really goes for it is the ships.
Mm-hmm. That's the really good thing about this game.
Your ship is
Is
released. Exit
the ships
clear.
are fun to fly.
Ships are fun to fly. I mean, they nailed that. They nailed that so well. And that's why it's so infuriating. It's like, why can't they take that? They nailed it so well and take it to other aspects of the game. It's not that people don't like this game. They're disappointed in that it could be so much more. And yet it feels like there's so little effort into making it that much more. And it's just mind baffling as to why. Why can't they just take it that next extra step and just make it a great, not just make it a good game, but make it a great game.
Yeah. Linux, if you're got a huge ship like what I've got, like the Anaconda, or like what Tygra has, which is the Federal Corvette, turreted might be best. Ships that can't.
Wait a minute, what was he saying?
He's asking what is better. What is better, gimbaled or turreted, and that depends.
Okay, let me answer that. The thing about gimbal, turret, and fixed is you're going to have to deal with the fact that fixed has the highest damage output, but it also was the hardest to aim because you have to point your ship right onto it. Gimbaled is the middle of the road. It has some tracking, but you have to be pointed at least in the right direction for it to fire on them. Turreted is the weakest of the types, but they can hit at a 360-degree arc on the side they're facing. So it depends on kind of the situation of which one would actually be better. It kind of comes down to flight style, your personal, skill level of how good you are at the game, and maybe certain aspects of the ship that you feel like you need to have covered in relationship to that, how good you are with it. So there's a lot of personal preference in that and skill level. For larger ships, generally maybe having, if you're not, like super skilled, having some turreted weapons to cover, some harder to hit angles, like if you're having trouble with them jousting at you, having some turreted in the back to keep, something shooting them while you're trying to get spun around.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I do it. Whereas if you're really, really good at it, you can just go all, pointy weapons and just do railguns or something where even the timing is hard to do. So it depends on skill level and preference. You ask the forums or a lot of players, what's the best of this, and you're going to get a lot of different answers. Especially when it comes to combat, you're going to get a lot of different answers.
Mm-hmm.
I know, because when I went to ask what's a good build for this Federal Corvette, I got a whole 2 pages worth of stuff on recommendations. And I just sort of had to piece together my play style and put those recommendations together and kind of make up, what I felt was good for me. And so there's a lot to it. And for smaller ships, like if you're not as good, then you want some gimbaled and you have some smaller, ships, just gimbaled. If you have a larger ship, like what Mike was saying, then at that point you might want to say put some gimbaled on your side or on your rear quarter, and then the front ones I would say gimbaled. And if you're a really good shot, then you can put some fixed fire ones on there.
Mm-hmm.
I hope, does that answer?
It's situational and also what kind of ship you have.
And it kind of depends on what you're doing, because if you're doing PvP, you want different builds that are geared more toward that. And then if you're doing just PvE, the kind of thing you would add would be a little different.
Yeah.
So it kind of depends on where you're at and what you're trying to do. Like if you're in a combat zone, you want to be way more prepared. Where if you're just in a high res or hazard or extraction site, you can be a little more lenient, especially if there are system authorities where all you need to do is just tag them to get the credits.
Yep.
So there's some situational elements in it too. All right, where are the other ones at?
Slow it down so I don't have to do the loop of shame.
So did that help?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, since we're discussing space games, there's another one that is looking like it might be promising. That's Dual Universe.
Yeah, where's it at in this development? Because that's been in development for a really long time.
Not as long as Star Citizen.
Well, okay, yeah, there's...
I think they're getting ready for a closed beta.
Why is this area so foggy? What is over here? Is there a nebula in the middle of this cell or something?
But I think they're getting ready for a closed beta.
I mean, because when I saw it, it looked sort of like, it reminded me a lot of Imperium Survival.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, there's Imperium Survival, which is free, so it's going to be kind of hard, and that's come a long way in its development.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of having a trouble understanding the difference between...
It's an
how
MMO.
one is... Okay.
Dual Universe is an MMO, whereas Imperium Survival is you join someone's game.
Okay,
That's
where's
the
that
big
high
difference. Now, for right now, it's going to be a paid MMO. That could change. 'Cause
Yeah, they're going to have a hard time pushing that.
Critical message.
I wish them luck on that. That's going to be difficult.
Mm-hmm. I know. It's
Because even Final Fantasy, they have to stay at the top of their game to justify the fact that they're a paid MMO in an era where MMOs are essentially paid through microtransactions for the most part.
mm-hmm.
That's become sort of the standard norm, and it's going to be very difficult to maintain a game like that without it. My guess is, considering the kind of game it is, that it's going to have to drop the subscription model. I think when it was conceived, I think that was more, subscriptions were more common, so it was conceived with that idea. And I think if you look at the kind of game it is, I think it would be well suited for microtransactions, considering all the parts and pieces and, livery that you could probably throw in there with all that stuff. I would say that game could probably transition to, or even start out as free-to-play, because that would bring in a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then have a shop, not pay to win, but, pay for add-ons and extras and liveries and things like that, cosmetics. That would just enhance it, like prettier cockpits or something that don't really give you anything special, but, just make your ship look cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the kind of game that might do well with that. It would be my suspicion.
The ship construction that I've seen them do is very reminiscent of Space Engineer. And also Imperium, Imperium, Galactic Survival.
Yeah.
It's very reminiscent of that.
Incoming mission critical message.
Wait, why is this high grade in the middle of this ring? What the hell?
Huh?
Is this inside the ring or is this on the other side of it? What's going on here? Oh, that's on the other side. Okay, dodge ring.
Touchdown confirmed. Clear to disembark.
I found a high-grade emissions entry, and I'm trying to get to it.
Oh.
I want the goods.
What the goods?
Because I need a lot of high-end engineering stuff, and these provide it. So when I spot one of these suckers, I go for it. I try to get jumped. Alright. Red alert. Launch the fighter. Arm the weapons. Photons, torpedoes, and phasers armed, Captain. Oh, wait, wrong game.
6 million for 4A. Multi-cannon.
Okay, what do we got? What's we got? What's for dinner? That's a pretty view. Nice Saturn-like world over here with the sun to its side.
Oh, that looks like it would hurt. Damn.
Radiatic something or others. Come on, come back.
That's gimbaled.
Protolite alloys. Okay.
Okay, these are turreted.
Proto-radiolytic alloys. Okay, I'm picking up. Waiting for the fighter to return. And engage. That's what I said, engage. Okay, where was I headed? Alright, settlements and stations. There's one planetary base. Let's go do that. Well, this has been a little bit of an adventure doing this. Coming across these systems that apparently nobody has bothered to scan. Okay, is this... Okay, there you are. Alright.
Where was plasma accelerators on list? On Yamix's list.
I'd have to go back and watch it. I don't think they were last, though. I don't know if they were top tier, but I don't know if... they were probably high, at least. A lot of people like them. I've seen them used by NPCs a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to use them because they're kind of slow.
Yeah.
But that can be powerful if you're trying to take down... I think they're focused on shields. I think they're better if you're fighting bigger, slower ships, though. You don't want to try them on, like, little fighters. Some people like to rig their ships so that they have a set of weapons for small ships, like gimbaled multi-cannons and bursts or something, and then large weapons like rails and plasmas and whatnot for large, slower ships. So they'll set their weapon types for two different types of ships.
Yeah.
So that the way they can sort of spread out their damage potential in the kinds of ships that they're fighting. Like I said, there's a lot of preference involved. So what's the chat saying?
Nothing new.
Nothing new, okay.
Yeah. Okay. this is... Where am I on here?
Oh, that explains it.
Alright, this is back. And
Kind of maneuver away from the big giant ring planet.
mm-hmm.
I get a little bit more. The orbit lines are kind of complicated here.
Yeah.
Kind of going every which damn direction. I'm not sure who's orbiting what out here. Got lines going in every which dang direction. Some of these little smaller no-name systems, though, really have not had much visitations. Well, I can see why nobody would have visited, because there doesn't seem to be much here to be interested in. Am I coming in too deep? No. Let's see, where's the... There it is. Oh, good. Yeah, what we're saying was this game has a lot of potential, and what it is the reason people rail about it so much is they see that it has so much potential, and it's the developers are not really living up to that potential.
No.
And if they would, this game could be so much more. Fix the systems in it that are broken, and, you know, do some of the most, you know, you don't have to do a lot. Sometimes less is more, but get the systems that are in it working, get them working right, get them working really good, and then, you know, just be wise about how you add on enhancements. And I know things take time, you know. Development just takes time. And if this automated docking does not pull up anytime soon... Okay. Boost! For some reason, we are still descending. What is the gravity here? Oh, I am not decreasing speed. I am competing with gravity for some reason.
Huh.
I can't see the number because my thrusters are lit behind it, so I can't see it. Why am I still descending? What the hell is going on here? Okay, screw the automated landing. I'm putting this thing down manually. Where's my advance? Turn that off. My God. Okay, which one of these? Okay, well, I see two large landing bays, and I see somebody at the other one, so that one must be mine. Okay, we're going to try to slow down and swing around. Don't hit the tower. You mean the fact that I'm outside your window? Sure, you have me on visual. Maybe it's the fact that I'm floating outside your window, you know, the big giant ship in your viewport that's blocking your view of everything else. You know what? Hold on. Come out here and come back around. This is nuts. There we go. That's what I need right there. Okay. Easy.
I've got 4 lasers and 4 multi-cannons now.
Easy.
Alright, now got passenger mission. Go on.
Alright.
I need to find the sweet spot again.
Okay, I think I'm beginning wanted to understand why my altitude meter was so weird. This thing is sitting in a hole. That's why my altitude meter was it looked like I was so low. It's because it's sitting in a hole.
Hmm.
Oh, there's a big hill kind of going around the place.
Yeah.
All right, now I just don't trust the automated docking because it was coming down awfully dang fast. All right, here we are. We have come in. There we go. And gently, 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 right on the pad. There we go. Just like that. Humphrey's base. And there's no market.
Huh.
And I know why nobody comes here. Nobody comes here because there's no market in this system. Jeez. All right, next.
Yeah. But
I know why nobody's. I know
But-
why nobody.
other than the fact that it is pay to play, and pay to play is dual universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were getting a little distracted by the game. Other than the fact that it's pay to play right now, it does look promising.
Yeah, I want to try it. I really do want to give it a shot.
So I don't see it staying a pay to play model for long.
No, I
Not
don't
in this,
see it. I don't.
not in this MMO market.
And not when you have a game that is so much like it that is cheap, like Imperium and Space Engineers. I don't see it surviving.
That's why they do crowdfunding. That's why they're doing crowdfunding for the game, because you can't really get investors interested in funding a subscription-based game these days. But from my understanding, it's hard to get investors interested in wanting to invest in a paid game,
Yeah.
paid subscription game.
The game still has to be paid through, so you have to have microtransactions sort of designed in your model
Friendship drive
Yeah.
charging.
for support.
And
'Cause
not
you do still
pay to
have
win.
pay the bills. Yeah, you do still have. You either have to have you have to either own other franchises or other properties that you sell on a regular basis, or you have to have some other, microtransactions or some other elements to bring in income, because paying to play the game on a monthly basis is you have to be top notch to be able to pull that off and make it
Yes.
work.
Yeah. It's like, look at Warframe. Look at the pace of development for that game, for all the new content they keep releasing so frequently. And it's free to play. And all the updates are free. And it's like,
Yeah.
the pace of the updates, it's like Final Fantasy XIV. That's how fast the pace of updates come. And every new patch adds a ton of new stuff.
A little late. This guy tried to interdict me right as the countdown engaged. I heard it go
Drive
off.
charging.
It's a little slow.
Hmm.
Here's another one of these systems.
4,
Running into a lot of these.
What are they?
Oh, no, this is get a station already revealed. So that's just one stop. I'm going to head straight there. I'm not going to. There's other unidentified sources, but I am not. That's a lot of unidentified signal sources. How many do we got?
Incoming mission
Oh,
critical
wow.
message.
Wow.
Fuel scooping.
Do I want to stop and scan this? Ooh. There's a dozen of these little bastards in here. Alright, let's take a look.
I would talk about the X series, but I've never played them, so...
I've never played it.
I know that Obsidian Ant has done some videos about it, and he likes it. I think Yamix has talked about it,
Critical.
and I am roasting my ship.
What the hell? Alright. It's pointing to a spot, and when I try to lock onto it, it goes away. How does that make sense?
I've had that happen before. That is weird. I have had that happen.
It's like when I move away from it, it shows up. When I move toward it, it vanishes. I ain't gonna worry with it. Most of these are just decoded emissions. Coded emissions. Okay, this is totally malfunctioning. Oh, this is bugged out. Oh, crap, this is bugged out. Alright, screw it. There's nothing here I'm doing.
Now,
It is, I mean, literally, it is spinning wildly out of control. Yeah, it is totally bugged out. Graded emissions, encoded emissions. Screw it, it ain't worth my time. And check the chat.
no new messages.
Okay.
Now, the only other thing to talk about is the elephant in the room. And that's Star Citizen, which we haven't played either, but we've seen plenty about. From a lot of people. Now, the video that Yamix did, it's buggy as heck, what he showed. He was like taking damage walking through doorways, falling through
so many problems with that.
DSP errors in the map and everything.
My take on that game is either they don't get it out the door, it's gonna take, especially if they run out of money. I mean, totally, they can't do it. There's gonna be lawsuits for ages.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling it's gonna go so badly if they don't hurry up and get that crap something out the door.
My fear is if it goes down, that'll hurt crowdfunding for games.
Yeah, that's my concern.
And crowdfunding does work. I mean, there's Bloodstained.
It's a crowdfunded game. It was done through Kickstarter.
Yeah, originally done through Kickstarter, then they left Kickstarter and started raising their own funds.
If Elite Dangerous is anything, it is an example of a successful Kickstarter project. It is a success in terms of a Kickstarter project that's gone into development. It's gone into production.
Yeah.
It's how to do it right. The guys who did this with Kickstarter did it correctly, with the exception of the season pass thing.
Yeah.
That's the only part they screwed up, and that has nothing to do with Kickstarter. That has to do with the, after the fact.
Yeah.
They need to lock down their list of features and finish them. Get it done. They need to pick one of those two games and get one of them done and just get it done.
They're trying for too much.
They're too much for two. I mean, look at No Man's Sky and Elite Dangerous. They took these games let's put it this way. If Star Citizen had done what No Man's Sky and Elite Dangerous did, start with the minimalist part of the game working first. Like Elite Dangerous, all you had was like a small 2, 3, 4-star systems, and that was it. That's all it had. You know, a small handful and a couple of ships. And they worked their way out. No Man's Sky did the same thing, albeit the hard way, but they started out with the minimalistic features, and they both worked their way up to a much more rich feature set. Debatably so, but basically yes. Star Citizen was birthed around to the same time frame for the most part. If they had done the same thing, if they had started with their most minimalistic feature sets, just get the real core of the game, it wouldn't have been great, but it would have been complete, and it would have been a game. And then continue to add to that as they go, just like Elite Dangerous and No Man's Sky, they would be doing so well right now, and they wouldn't have any of this charging people $3,000-$4,000 a ship bullcrap to support their game. They wouldn't need it.
Yeah.
Because guess what? In the end, they took the same amount of time.
Yeah.
They did. They took the same amount of time that if they had started with a complete, relatively low bug count game and got it perfected and then built the top of it layer by layer, it would have taken them the same amount of time as them trying to produce this massively complete game that is falling apart.
Yeah. And originally it wasn't gonna be an MMO. Originally it wasn't going to be an MMO game.
Throwing stuff in there.
Yeah,
But thing is, but you know what? Look at No Man's Sky. You don't have to start as a multiplayer game to be an MMO. No Man's Sky is on its way to being borderline MMO, if not there.
Yeah.
And it was a solid single-player only experience when it started. You can do that. You can bring it in and put its most basic, non-networky features in there, let it be single-player, and then add those networking features in slowly, see how players like it, listen to the community, let them give you feedback, and that can make it a better game than you trying to make it all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a market here, yay. So, I mean, it would have taken them the same amount of time, because Star Citizen and Elite Dangerous were birthed about the same time, give or take a few months. They started on the same track, kind of parallel to each other, and yet Elite Dangerous is in a maintenance level sort of thing going on, still doing development, and Star Citizen hadn't even had its first version yet. I mean, even No Man's Sky is about to be 2.0. Elite Dangerous is heading toward, what is it, 4.0 or something? Or whatever,
Yeah.
5.0, 4.0? They would already be on their way. So, I don't know. You just got to look at these games to see what worked and what didn't to know how they should be proceeding next.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just worried that if there's been any shenangling going on in the back rooms of if they ever did this, it would destroy so much. If there's been any fraud or abuse or waste in Star Citizen with that much money involved, it'll destroy them.
Yeah.
And it'll hurt the Kickstarter type community really, really bad if they do.
It would ruin the reputation of Chris Roberts. It would ruin his reputation.
Yeah. Nobody will ever trust him again with anything.
No.
And it's sad because they're capable of so much. It's just, I really hope they didn't screw up with that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that they did. I wouldn't make that kind of statement, they did this or that. I really hope they didn't, though.
Yeah.
Because it'll be so much trouble if they did. So I really hope that's not part of what's going on. But it'll do so much damage if they did.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the fallout for people who have paid thousands upon thousands of dollars for ships and that they don't have the money to give back to them. Oh, that would be so...
I know.
messy.
I know.
I really hope they get that shit straight. It would be nice to see Star Citizen complete and... Oh, crap, hold on. What's this?
It'd be a space game that likes of which has not been seen before. If they can make it work.
It could be really good. If
Yeah.
they get it wrong, it's going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
I really hope they get it right. And that is a beluga. And he's going to wait. Good. I got clearance before he did. All right. So I have a question. Where can I participate? There's this message that comes in the background says, "We're going to do a live fire training scenario. Can I join?"
Fire training scenario.
One of the background messages from the towers. I was like, "Can I join your live fire training scenarios?" Yeah, I really hope that they get Star Citizen finished. I mean, I think it'll be a great game once it's done.
Yeah.
If they get it done, I really hope they do. I mean, my thing is, I want the best for all these companies because that's just more choices for us gamers.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to like this game and then hate that game. It's counterproductive. It doesn't get us anywhere. You know, it's like all these games have something to offer. They have their strengths. They have their weaknesses, some more than others. But in general, it's better for everybody if they succeed. We get more options as gamers. You know, it encourages more developers to play and make these types of games. You know, it's a win-win when it's all done correctly.
Yeah.
So that's what I want. I want the best for these folks. I want them to figure it out and get it to work and be able to make money off it. I don't have a problem with them making money on it. I want them to be successful because then that encourages them to work on it even more and make it even better. You know, so as long as they're not being douchebags with the money or something, you know.
Yeah.
You know, Elite Dangerous and Frontier and No Man's Sky and Hello Games and Star Citizen and Imperium and whoever the hell makes that other game. What were we talking about? Dual Universe.
Dual Universe, yeah.
Whoever makes it. I want them to succeed. It's just good for everybody for them to succeed. It just enhances everything if they're successful. To be creative, and you know, gamers can be impatient motherfuckers sometimes. And you know, it takes time for this software development to be a thing. These are complex pieces of software, and you know, just give these developers a chance to get it done.
Yeah.
You know? And for the developers to, you know, be efficient about it. I mean, even if you're not the fastest, be efficient about what you do. And treat your employees well. And the better they're treated, you know, within reason, hey, the happier the people, I mean, look at Nintendo. Like you were talking about the Nintendo model. You know?
Yeah, where they treat their... I'm not the biggest fan of Nintendo as a company because of how they treat YouTubers. How they used to treat YouTubers. Well, they still do to a certain extent, but they got rid of that that crappy partner program that they had. They got rid of that. Good thing. But what the hell?
Treat your customers as well as your employees, Nintendo.
Yeah, they treat their employees really well. They are willing to delay a game rather than make their employees, you know, have
Well, look at Final Fantasy.
work in stressful situation.
Square Enix has a policy of, yeah, you can work overtime, but you have to take that overtime off. You have to have that time off somewhere. You have to be able to take a break. Walk away from the development, get away from it. Let your teammates cover for you for that time, whatever. You know, get out of the studio and go have a life. Otherwise, you're going to stifle your own creativity by stressing yourself out too much.
Yeah.
So the companies that, and look how well they're doing. Look at how well Shadowbringers has done.
Oh yeah.
So, you know,
Landing gear deployed.
treat your employees with respect. You know, don't let them, you know, like, run the show, but at the same time, you know, treat them with respect. Treat your fans with respect. Treat them like, treat them like they're stupid. Treat them like they're smart. Know that they're smart motherfuckers. They're gonna be smart. They're gonna be, you know. By the way, you just probably got an M rating on this. But anyway, they're smart.
Demonetized, although we're not monetized anyway.
Yeah. So treat them with respect as people, and just know that there are people behind those keyboards. There are people writing that software. There are people buying your game, spending their hard-earned cash on your stuff. Just know that. Respect that. And you will do so much better. You may not have the great, your bottom dollar, it may not seem like a short-term gain, but that long-term loyalty and that longer-term success is worth having. It might seem quicker to make that quick buck in that shorter term, but you're going to pay for it in the long run. Or you might not make it that shorter term thing, but long term, you hang in there, you do it right. You know, sometimes you mess up. But do what Square did and do what Hello Games did. Put your nose to the grindstone and fix it. Get it working.
Yeah.
Make it a good thing. Put the effort in. And this guy is giving me the yes fucking look. Image of this dude just staring at me like, what the fuck, dude? But treat your people with respect. Treat your customers with respect. If you screw up, own it, own up to it, and fix it. Just fix it. Make it work. Sit down and figure out if you got to work with what people are looking for, and you got to go have that back and forth with the community like Square Enix had to do. Do it. Whatever it takes. Get it working right. And then you'll have a product, worth buying, and you'll have that long-term success that really counts as success. That makes other people envious. Just do it.
Yeah.
Any other stations in this system? There's 2 planetary. Alright.
Alright.
How am I doing on my marketplace? How's my count? Leeching. I am 3650, so I need 14 more to go. Is that right? See, 6, 9, 10 plus 10. Okay, yeah. Like 14 more stations. In there.
Yep.
This and the miting take the longest time. They're not hard. They're just tedious.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. That's everything in this game is tedious. So what am I saying? What the hell? What am I thinking? It's all tedious. This game is the master game at tedium.
Oh, yeah.
But it burns through time. As I said, it is a time murderer.
The grind.
Yes.
Grind.
Landing gear retracted.
I'm hearing sounds like people running through the house.
This is clear.
Be right back.
Frameshift drive charging. 4,
Oh.
3, 2,
Okay.
1. Engage.
It just sounded like someone running through the house. I can hear noises from the other places around here. Little kids running in the next house over, and you can hear it. And it almost sounds like they're running through your house. just thuds through the ground. We got, because the house is sitting on those cinder block, on those block, standing on bare ground with cinder blocks. Okay. A lot of money. Probably make a lot more mining. But, easily make 80 mil an hour. Just doing this run back and forth between Robingo and I even forget what the other system is. Jumping back and forth between those two systems, doing passenger runs to the Eurus Astropherics. It's just a location with a beacon. Just go there, scan the beacon, come back. Go there, scan the beacon, come back. Get a few million each time.
Okay, why is there weapons fire?
Huh?
Hold on.
Are you being shot at?
I don't know. There's a small war going on out here. Doesn't seem to have anything to do with me.
Are you sure?
No. But the automated docking's kicked in, so I'm headed back to the station.
What did you do, Ray?
I don't know. I stepped away and I just left my ship outside and walked back in and I see weapons fire all over my viewport. It wasn't coming at me. It was just kind of all over the place. I'm like, what? Like, why am I seeing weapons fire? I leave just for a few seconds. Just, you know, it's just like...
You come back and all hell's breaking loose.
Yeah. Oh. Well, that was a thing. That's what the messages were. Yeah, investigating the situation. Yeah. Okay, no fire zone entered. That's when I dropped out. Somebody got scanned. Okay, the cargo's all yours. This appears to have nothing to do with me.
Huh.
Other than the fact that it was happening in front of me.
And around you.
Yeah. Weapons fire, and I'm like, Autodoc, I'm not going to be able to fight. I'm in the middle of I'm in the,
Like,
the
I
fire
see
zone.
nothing? I know nothing?
Like, officer, I am not involved in this transaction. Not in the fire zone, I ain't. I already know what would happen. I am not getting involved in that because I am within the fire zone. No fire zone.
Yeah.
I just turned my ship around and docked. Well, maybe I know why. It says Gurney Vision. I wonder if this belongs to Gurney Halleck. Yeah, name of the station, Gurney Vision. I wonder what that tells me.
Oh, yeah.
All right. and check on the house, and I get back, and it's like, what the hell? All right, I think I'm good.
Now, once the update to No Man's Sky comes out, I'm going to be live streaming that.
You and me both. I'm going to start a new save. I want to do it all from VR from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I want to experience everything that game has to offer in VR.
Yeah. That's going to be an interesting experience with that, especially if it's as good as the people in the gaming media said it is.
Yeah, the VR part.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing I've been thinking about the other day. Okay, now, you have a game like Elite Dangerous, and it's better to be seated. Now, if I'm running around in another kind of game, I might want to be standing. Well, the funny thing about No Man's Sky is you spend time both in your seat and walking around. So, do I have to sit down every time I get in my ship and stand up every time I get out of my ship now?
I have no idea.
Because I don't like walking around in VR when I'm sitting, and I don't like sitting when I'm walking around. I don't like to mix it if I'm standing in the game.
I don't think you have to. I think you can just do it
I
seated.
know that. I'm just saying, as a preference, I don't like to sit when the game has you standing. I don't like to stand when the game has you sitting, because it messes with me. It's one thing that does mess with me. My brain won't process it. If I'm standing, I'm standing. I can do the whole smooth motion, all that stuff, but I need to be standing. If I'm sitting, then I need to be sitting. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the one thing where my brain just won't grok it. Everything else is fine. So I'm just literally going to have to... You know,
And it's like, in my room, I don't have the room for room scale.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is maybe I should get my what do you call it, my treadmill, and just start walking straight in a straight line on the planet and just push up on the thumbstick and just walk as I'm walking the planet. That's probably like the most unsafe thing anybody could ever do.
Landing complete. Clear to disembark.
Well, they got those special treadmills and whatnot, but
Yeah.
you got to have a lot of room, and they're very expensive, and not all games support them.
Yeah.
Where is this? Oh, okay, it's right here on the planet. But yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to handle that just yet.
Mm.
Because it's going to be like, well, how do I handle sitting down? How do I handle standing up? Because I really, kind of prefer to be sitting and sitting. Okay, and then, oh God, they did this to me the other day. They put out a patch for a collection of Wipeout games on the PS4, which is some of the classic PS3 and PS2 versions of Wipeout. And I don't have anything to play it with. And I'm like, oh, man. And it's the good ones, too.
Mm.
I'm like, oh, come on. Don't do this to me. I don't want to have to buy a PS4 VR just for that game. It's like $800. But it's like, I would have always wanted VR for that game. And it's the good one, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh.
Yes. Technically not a space game, but still a fun game.
No, but I guess you could say it's a space age game. How about that?
Space age game. Another one that I have not played, but I've seen videos of it, and Obsidian Ant played it. He likes it a lot. Is Rebel Galaxy Outlaw?
Okay.
I believe that's the name. It's only in it takes place in just a couple of star systems. It's not full galaxy like Elite Dangerous. Elite Dangerous, when it first came out, only had a few star systems. Then it expanded out into the entire galaxy over time with patches.
Yeah.
But He's liking that one. He's been playing another one he's been playing is Everspace. And that is a roguelike in space where each system you enter is procedurally generated and you have a time limit of how long you can stay in there before a large cruiser shows up and just starts kicking your ass. And you have permadeath. Those are the hallmarks of a roguelike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this can only end badly. Where's it at? There it is. I couldn't find my cup. I'm like, this can only end badly. Must know where my cup is at all times. It can only end badly without that.
Yes.
This is an interesting name for a station. Gent Refinery. Okay. Sounds like a clothing store. I'm serious. This is a planetary base. It's called Gent, G-E-N-T, Gent Refinery. And I'm hearing that, and I'm like, that sounds like a clothing store for men. It just does. It's messing with me. It's like, it's a clothing shop? It's just, I don't know, it's messing with me. Gent Refinery would not be a bad name for a clothing shop.
No.
Just saying. Just a swinging. And I'm just No Man's Sky is. It's like them in that update. It's like, ugh.
Oh yeah. Just want to play it.
I know.
Give it to us now.
Yeah, now. All you updates belong to us.
Mm-hmm.
Landing gears retracted.
Detach confirmed. Restrict speed until clear of the station perimeter.
Alright, what's this system got to offer? What do we got? Got one star base and 2 planetary bases. Okay. You're close to this star? Wow. You very close.
Hmm.
Frameshift drive
Yeah, that for
charging.
bingo, COs, so this, you can get so much out there.
3,
Mm-hmm.
2,
You can get Explorer rank, you can get Federation rank, you can get Sirius rank, you can get credits. You can get modular term. There's just so much in those three systems.
Yeah. And those who might be joining the stream, we've been discussing space games, Elite Dangerous. We've been discussing, Elite Dangerous, No Man's Sky, a little bit of Star Citizen, Dual Universe. I've been mentioning some other games like it was Rebel Galaxy.
Yeah, what's that other MMO one that we referred to?
Dual Universe.
To Universe, yeah.
Yeah. It's looking very promising. Hopefully that works out well. Star Citizen, hopefully that one doesn't blow up because it would do a lot of damage if it did. That would do a lot of damage.
Did you say someone else was joining? I thought you said somebody else was joining the stream.
No, I was saying anyone who may have joined the stream.
Oh.
Just a recap.
Okay.
Just a recap.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much what we've covered.
Yep. The genre of space games has been neglected for a long time. Now you get the big developer, you get the big AAA studios, EA, Activision, Ubisoft. They get into their heads that, oh, this genre doesn't work. Like EA saying, oh, single player is dead. And what happens? Sony releases one of the biggest single-player games in the past 10 years, and with God of War.
Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest ones in the past 10 years, and I don't know. It's now recently, you saw what I showed you was that Activision Blizzard basically tax evasion, basically involved in tax evasion. And
they're in so much trouble.
Because that's in Europe, but you worked in that particular field. You weren't a tax collector, but you worked in an important area on it. You know quite a bit about.
Well, I did
things.
Technical support, so I did software engineering, but that was it.
Yeah. You know enough to know you don't mess with that.
Yeah, a lot of people do. And the thing is, they take advantage of the loopholes that, the politicians create. So it's like, shouldn't surprise anybody. It's like they put them there and they're like, yeah, we're going to use this. But it makes them really, really, really douchebaggy, and they're still going to fine them. And the question is, are the fines going to stick? Are they going to get them to stick? And are they going to do enough damage that they could, put the whole future of Warcraft into question?
Yeah.
It's not really known, but it might do enough damage that Warcraft's in enough trouble as it is. It doesn't need any more problems.
Oh, they're like the last estimate was they were down to like 1.5 million players, which is not a lot in the grand scheme of things for MMOs. That's actually pretty small.
That's getting really, really dangerously low. I mean, they're
Oh,
always going to
crap.
have... Yeah?
Oh, and I overshot my descent for a
Planetary base?
planetary base. Okay, there we go. I'm lined up now. Yeah, a little far out.
As I get down to a less than 100 megameters or kilometers or whatever it is, I usually drop in about right at around 100 or 100.
Yeah. On this planet, you gotta be really careful because these mountains are freaking high.
It's been a while since I landed there because I had a small ship when I did it.
These mountains are like they're high enough to where if you're not careful, you can smack into them while you're in glide.
Oh, that's high.
That's how high they are.
It's been a while since I've been back there, and I don't see a reason to want to begin now.
But you could easily smack into these guys on your glide down.
No, that would be unwise. That would hurt. Well, I'll tell you something that really spoke to me one time is when I was in Super Cruise and I got interdicted, and the interdiction path led me into the surface of led me to a planet. I dropped out of Super Cruise a few kilometers above the surface.
Ooh.
And I'm like, whoa, that's sort of a Han Solo type exit right there. Like, brakes.
That's... yeah.
Yeah.
Hotel, Echo. A docking request must be supplied before access can be granted.
Yeah, it's like just that third update. It just got everybody just freaked out of what could it be.
Mm-hmm.
It's so many different things that they could do, and we don't know what they have done.
Yeah.
And so it's just nerve-wracking. It's like, what have they done? That's a cool song.
Docking request approved. Plot route for approach to landing pad 04. You're approved for automated docking sequence.
Reputation friendly. Go Quint. Dweller, D.D. Viderman.
Landing gear deployed.
Alright.
You know, I don't really want to know how close that was. I was staring at my engineers,
Yeah?
and I had myself on course, and it looked like it was going to take a while, right?
Yeah?
I was staring at the engineers,
We are happy to have
and I heard my frame shift drive spin up really hard, and then I heard, and I'm like, you know, I don't really want to know how close that was. I saw flickers of light behind the screen I was looking at, and I don't really want to know. And I have a
Alrighty.
feeling that it was really freaking close. Oh, speaking of close, I am not going to be able to make an approach at that angle.
Alrighty then. Well, we are going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
This is a warning to all pilots.
Alright, we are back.
So what were we saying? We were thinking about something during the break that I said we should say this. We should be talking about this online.
Yeah. Talking about the light projected from the holodeck view.
No. We were talking about something else prior to that. I was over there in your room a while ago.
Oh. About No Man's Sky. Whether they're
Yeah, what were we saying about it?
the inside of the helmet.
Oh, Well, that's what I was thinking after I got back over here, but there was something I was saying in there. Ah, crap. Well, that's gone. Okay. What I was
We're having another old man moment.
We're practicing for our old man routine. Okay, but what I was saying about the Iron Man thing, though, since that's
yes.
what we were saying, that wasn't what I was talking about in there. That's gone. But what we're talking about here was, is that, which has something to do with the projection, is that, you know, when you see it on Iron Man's face, in, you know, kind of like it's lighting up his face.
Yeah.
Or at least the way the HUD is in front of him. I'm wondering if the VR HUD will be like that in No Man's Sky.
Oh.
It's kind of mimicking that already.
That would be cool. It did that.
You see different targeting elements and other on-screen other HUD elements in VR. You know, you see other HUD elements. So I wonder if, like, those things will pop up in that sort of fashion. And what I was saying was about the headset was, the way these VR headsets are, at least this one is anyway for the Vive, is like if I'm on the holodeck, you know, because that's my loader environment. If I turn the lights off and point the headset with that environment running toward the wall, it'll project the lines onto the wall. It'll project what it's seeing outward.
Yeah. It'll act like a projector, basically.
Yeah.
These are some fairly bright OLED screens that are in here.
Yeah, they are. Stuff that's pure white is very bright.
Yeah.
I mean, there's times when I'm in these stations, even in this game, where I'm like, can I have like window blinders, please?
Yes.
Because those overhead lights are really bright. I'm like, where are my sunglasses?
And we're both ultra sensitive to bright light. Like in here, this damn cockpit of this damn Anaconda, it's like lit up like a Christmas tree. Actually brighter than that. I wish we could turn the lights off in here.
Yeah, the Crate Mark II's got lights that point right at you. And the thing is, you would be amazed. And see, this is the thing. This is where one of those things where it's simple, quality of life, doesn't affect the gameplay, and yet whenever people suggest it on the forums, everything freaks out. It's like, oh my God, how dare you suggest something, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, look, but at the same time, people are like, no, this is just quality of life stuff. It doesn't hurt anything to update even something simple like this. And it's like, all people want is the ability to dim the cockpit lights. And you know what? Here's the thing. It's something the game can already do. Do a reboot. Stop and do a reboot, and you'll see every light in that cockpit goes out. So it's not that they can't do it. It's a simple thing to do. And yet, having a switch to just dim the lights or turn them off altogether, and they do it whenever they're doing little special effects, like if you get thumped by a Thargoid, or if you reboot, or other malfunctions, or even start that simple, the demo, or the training session, the very first training session, you're sitting in black, and then all the cockpits are off. A scenario that doesn't really happen in the game.
It'd be so nice to be able to sit in a dark cockpit.
Yeah, and just have the HUD turned down real low and just sit there and stare out at the stars. But oh no, that simple function, and it's either mega controversial on the forums, or people are begging and begging and begging and begging for as long as VR has been capable in this game, which has been since it's pretty much launched.
Yeah.
And no, they will not do it. Too complicated, too much UI work, and yet they'll redo the UI.
Mm-hmm.
It's too complicated, and yet the game does it all the time in script.
Yeah.
And that's the part that annoys me. Little things like that. Like sliders to adjust the colors. Just give us them inside the HUD. Give us a screen, because they've done all this UI work when they did Beyond. And they couldn't have added that one little feature so that console players could have the same things that, and it's like they do all this stuff, and then they say they can't do it, and they turn around and either the game already does it, or they do it anyway, and with something else. And it's like, those are the things that it just drives me nuts.
Just irk ya.
Yeah, and it's not game changing. There's no way that it can take a long time to develop because it's already in the game. And they say, well, we don't want to mess with the UI because it's too complicated. Really? And yet you've redesigned the whole thing for the update. You couldn't have put that in during that? You're sitting there doing all that update work, you're redoing the UI, you're changing all these screens, and you couldn't put that one screen in there? And you're doing all these other screens? Really? I don't buy it. You're saying, well, we can't turn the cockpit lights off, blah, blah, blah. You do it already! It's already in the game! And they don't do it. Why?
Yeah, that or their code is just that unmodular.
I don't. That's an excuse. That's an excuse. That's an excuse. I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. The game already does it. Just patch into that.
Yeah.
Just copy paste the freaking code if you have to that dims the lights. Whatever. If your code is that poorly written, rewrite it. Optimize it then if it's that bad. Make it future-proof. Make it easier to update if it's that terrible. Fibonacci Orbital? Is that really the name of this place? Look like the name of this place was Fibonacci Orbital from what I saw outside.
Mission critical message.
No, Fibonacci? No, Fibonacci. Fibonacci.
Fibonacci.
So it is Fibonacci.
Yeah.
I thought it was Fibonacci. I couldn't. So
Named for the Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah, I knew what it was. Well, when I was approaching the station, I saw this. I thought I saw the label on the station hall, Fibonacci, and I'm like, is that what this place is named? But yeah, Fibonacci. I'm just not used to seeing it spelled.
Yeah.
I know what it is. It's just that I'm not used to seeing it. Yeah, Fibonacci Orbital. All right. But it's like when you're doing. And here's the thing. Look at this. They're doing all this work and all this new player stuff. Well. Why are you spending all that time? You couldn't put a little bit of time on, having sliders for the colors and having, you've already done look how much UI work they've done. All the main menus and all that other stuff, they redid it all. And in all that setting, including the graphic screen settings, they couldn't put, even if you had to do it outside the game. Like you had to exit the game back to the main menu and you go to an options and then it becomes available on the graphic screen to say adjust color sliders. And it shows you an example scene and you can play with the sliders.
They're going to do a massive change to the UI when they release that patch.
When you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're already messing with it, just keep going.
Yeah.
And then the game already, under multiple instances and they can script it with Thargoids, they can script it with the training missions, they can script it when you reboot, but you can't give us a switch. You've designed the switches screen for more switches. Just add us another switch. A little slider that says you got one slider in there already where you can go up and down to adjust the brightness. Give us another one right below it to do cockpit brightness. Internal lamps, either on or off or whatever you want to do. Even on or off would be sufficient.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just simple stuff.
Yeah.
Simple stuff like that. It's It's not asking too much. But for them, for some reason, it is, and it's like, why?
Oh.
Just. That's the part that infuriates me. Little things like that you get one somebody that posts it, and you'll see like a trail of 40 posts, 40 replies saying yes, please, please, please. Nope. You know, for every one of those, yes, please, can you add this? That you see posted, how many players does that each one of those represent? I honestly sometimes think, and maybe I'm wrong, but honestly, sometimes I feel like the following. When it comes to Elite Dangerous, I feel like the team that made the game is not the team that currently supports the game. I feel like that's two different groups. I feel like the people who made the game were really good at this sort of work, and they did an outstanding job of putting this game together. But I feel like the people who support the game don't really know how it all works. That they're not really as good as the team that made it, or they're too afraid to touch things. They're terrified they might actually break something. Rather than, it's just like they're just different somehow. Whether they're not as good, not as skilled, or whether I don't know, just for some reason they seem like they're not as keen on doing that kind of development. Because once Horizons came out, the development for this game really stalled out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the most advanced thing that we've seen is some of the Thargoid work, or the swarm stuff, and then the mining was really the blowing up asteroids. The just explosion effect was an asteroid cracking. But that was mostly animation work and design, and a little.
Oh, the
bit
visuals of this game are great.
Visually, the game is fantastic. There's no doubt about that. But
There are a few rare instances where they skimped. I mean, like on one of the ships, the hatch just slides with nothing attached.
There's a few places.
Yeah.
But it just seems like there's just points where it just feels like the guys who are working on it now are so afraid of doing anything that could possibly break it because they don't think they know how it works. I just haven't seen enough new stuff from them in a way that says, well, here's a new model, or here's a new weapon turret, here's a little bit of UI, you know, or maybe here's a little bit in the background stuff. But it just feels like they're scared to mess with it, and you know, in some ways, rightly so, because they have messed things up. But that goes to show, that's what I'm talking about, is the skill and the team who are working on it now seems less than that of those who put it together originally.
Well, there were those instances where they let bugs persist, really serious bugs persist for months, even a year.
Or I'm wrong about that, or here's another possibility, or I'm completely wrong about that. It is the same team, the developers, but the management won't let them do it.
That's a possibility.
That management says, no, you don't, we're not going to support that, we're not going to do that, it's not on our schedule of features, and we're not going to do anything at all extra that we don't already have on a schedule. We're not paying you overtime, we're not doing this, we're not doing that, we're just going to, we're going to follow our budget precisely to the letter, because we have, we want to have exact, numbers counted a certain way. The bean counters say no. But we want to add UI. We want to add VR turning off things. And they're like, no, the bean counters say no. You can't do that. That doesn't support the current version, our current roadmap. It's not in our roadmap, so the bean counters say no. Because it would run the budget over by $30 or whatever. So the bean counter says no.
Yeah.
that the development team is just as qualified, but they're not given the time necessary, or the reserves, or allowed by management to make the fixes and changes.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like something's not right somewhere.
Yeah, there's definitely something wrong at that level. I mean,
Somewhere in that machinery of a corporation, it's too much. Oh, what can I say? Here's an example. Where I used to work, we had, for example, where I used to work, you had at the application, the program you were writing on. Then you had your design documents, and then you had your overview documents, and then you had your documentation documents. And then that was what we started with. And all that stuff was sort of needed for various things. You know, the users needed certain documents, other programmers behind you would need certain documents, etc. And then at some point, that some CMM model that somebody came up in India said, well, you got to have this document and this document for these documents. So now you're documenting your documents. And then somebody said, oh, for the next level of documentation, you got to have documents that describe the documents that describe your documentation, and then another document that describes your documents for your other documentation. And before you know it, you're 20 levels deep.
that's that
And all you're doing
ISO
is
stuff.
documenting your documentation.
That's that
your
ISO documentation stuff. What you're talking about is that ISO documentation stuff. I saw a little bit of that when very early on some of the places where I used to work.
Oh, when I was at the IRS, it was like 5 levels deep.
Yeah.
And they were trying to go further. And I'm wondering if Elite Dangerous developers are hampered by that. Station on fire.
Probably.
Why am I seeing yellow caution lights?
Hmm.
No, it's not on fire. What's going on? Why is there...
Orbital flight engaged.
It's a damage station? Okay, the auto dock is not engaging.
Ah, that's a damaged station.
Hold on, I think I found a damaged station because the auto dock isn't... Alright, something's going... Yeah, this must be damaged. Because I'm seeing a lot of caution lights all over the place. And the auto docking is offline. Oh yeah! Yeah. This is definitely... Hold on, let me check the front gate. What does the sign say? Station offline. Okay. I might not even want to finish docking here. That explains it. Systems offline. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna dock just to fuel up, but it's not currently on fire, but they're in repair state.
Yeah.
Well, I've been delivering gold, so maybe I'll just deliver some gold to these guys. Maybe they'll need it. But, okay, well that explains it. I didn't even plan on coming to one of these. Alright, let's see what...
A docking request must be supplied before access can be granted.
Oh, they have a commodities market, so I can still sell them. Okay, I can still sell them, so I can still do what I want to do here. Maybe that little bit will help them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the restock and repair are offline, though. What does a mission board look like? Chromatic composites, computer components, emergency power cells, robotics.
Permission granted. Approach to landing pad.
Chromatic composites.
Automated approach
What's the
engaged.
passenger missions? Refugees transported from station 15, 14, 5, and 3. Refugee missions all over the place.
Hmm.
Alright. Well, I could tell something was wrong because it looked like I was seeing emergency lights outside, and when I turned on the auto dock, nothing happened. And I'm like, okay, this must be something going on here. And yep. But it wasn't still on fire. It was. Thing is, I think they've stopped doing this, haven't they? They're not doing this anymore.
Yeah, the Thargoids have been pushed out.
I was expecting them to assault Earth or something eventually.
That's what some people are thinking might happen at some point.
They're getting ready maybe to do it?
Yeah.
Alright, there's no forward light. There's no red or green light, so I'm just gonna go carefully out. Well, I just found this organically just on the mission that I was doing, the kind of little path I'm doing. Alrighty then. Oh, there's 2 planetary bases. Let me go check those out. Whoa! Yo, dude! Jeez. Just because the station's offline doesn't mean you can fly like a freaking maniac.
Mm-hmm. Getting the super good. I'm going to check the galaxy map and see what stations are still being affected by what. Let's see, what do we got? Let's see, turn that display on. Oh, boy, for damage stations, they're everywhere. Mm.
You know what? I wonder if they turned this off because it was becoming too much. Because there's like 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 stations here that are in the damage state. It was becoming too much.
Possible.
The background simulation was doing nothing but destroying the bubble. There's no currently under attack stations, but there's a bucket ton of stations that are damaged.
Detachment complete. Please leave when ready.
Yeah, look at your galaxy map and bring up those displays. Make sure both are visible and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Oh, I've seen it. Let me bring it up here. Let me get away from the planet here.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Yeah, I can see a whole cluster of red stations in one spot over by the bubble.
Yeah, there's a large amount of them that are still repairing. I wonder if they turned it
Oh,
off.
they're in the middle of the bubble.
Mm-hmm. Whoa.
Wow. Uh-oh.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I just lost my HUD. Hold on. Shit. I just lost my... Hold on. I'm out. Did we lose power?
Yeah.
All right. My VR went out.
All right, everybody. We've
We're
lost
having
power
technical
here.
difficulties. I don't even know if we should still be on, but we gotta deal with this.
Yeah.
We're having an emergency shutdown situation here.
We'll
Power
be
went out.
right back. Okay, we had a technical problem. And, our power went out. I think they
can't close enough.
Yeah.
Because I'm already out of the bars.
Yeah.
Morning. Power goes out.
Yeah. Was it all that the entire place, or was
No,
it?
it was the same.
Okay.
But Dave's not playing. Hours. I have a problem.
Yeah.
You can be. I can be. Not have a problem. For hours at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But doing that around 7 or.
Mm-hmm.
Poof.
Yeah.
And we get back on. Poof. Everything off. Power the whole house down. Wait a minute. Put it all back on. And we all go back to playing, and then not have a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, we go back in the. Dave go back in the note. Back to exactly the levels we were using. And it's fine, and we don't have a problem for hours.
Yeah. Well, it's 7:30. But let me get docked here. Yeah. Just hold on. I'll be docked here in a few minutes.
Dropped in the middle of romance.
Click the time. At the top bar. Yeah. Yeah.
So far away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. 8 more sleeps.
8 more. How far will I?
8 more
It's
sleeps.
dangerous just passing.
8 more sleeps
I'm
and
gonna
then
have
no
all the
sleep.
engineers blocked. They'll have been to, call it point back
Mhm.
out of every ship bought, everything, just because I'm trying to kill time.
Hmm.
Then what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
DLive Tango Hotel Echo. This is flight control.
Alright.
Please note that access to the station is by authorization only.
Alright. Docking now.
Access granted.
So-
Set down on landing pad 39.
We had a good... You still there?
Automated
Okay.
docking approved.
We had a good conversation about, yeah, about space games in general. Talked a lot about Elite Dangerous and how it could be better. And No Man's Sky, what we
Going to be
think,
better.
what's going to be better and what we think it's going to be in there. Star Citizen, we hope doesn't... Wish it could be better and hope it doesn't crash because it would cause a lot of damage
Hope
when it
comes
does.
worse.
Yeah. There's Dual Universe, which seems to have a lot of potential. Yeah. So, the space genre is something that's been neglected for a long time because AAAs didn't think it was popular anymore.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Especially with the way they're acting now.
No,
Like,
they don't.
yes. Uh-huh. Alright. I am down. Past 7:30. Time for me to go make dinner. Alright. So, yep. And I've been Mike TheZorch. I want to thank everybody who showed up and watched the stream. Sorry I was late answering a lot of your questions in chat because I have no way of seeing the chat in VR. There are tools for putting a window in VR. Some people use them to put Netflix in while they're doing cargo runs and stuff.
There are. The only thing at the
Yeah. So, and I'm not even using either. I'm not using either. I'm using a Microsoft Windows mixed reality thing, which is a really screwed up name for a VR. Or it's a confusing name for VR. Yeah, I mean it works. I mean it works great. I mean, I'm in this and I'm not having any trouble. It works absolutely wonderful in this. It needs more support and it needs a better name.
because I can't when I remember camera Minecraft all laid out as that's what I thought they meant. Reality.
That's augmented reality.
The thing is, the thing Microsoft played heard some. I think mixed. Augmented.
That's what I thought for a long
Mixed
time
means
too.
Augmented. Why wouldn't it mean fixed me augmented. So that demonstrates a long time. So I was ignoring their all they did. That they were find out not a whole lot different. Other fun V branding is bad at that Minecraft. Oh, all that's creating confusion and hurting them.
Yeah.
It's hurting them.
Yep.
And then people know, oh, it's VR for Windows. Okay.
Yeah. Because it is I use it, and it's definitely a viable solution. It's definitely viable. I mean, it's definitely good for playing SteamVR games. You know, and it's, depending on the headset you get, it can be cheaper than getting a Rift or a Vive. Oh. And the system requirements are not as high. This headset, it recommends a GTX 1050, which is an entry-level graphics card, 1080p graphics card. It recommends that. Whereas the Vive and Rift want a higher-end card. Or at least they say that it needs it. They probably don't actually need it. Get you, yeah. But, we've been live for a good 3 hours. No dropped frames this time. None. Yeah, and that's with streaming. No dropped frames. Interesting, stuff. Alright. Again, thanks to everybody that showed up in the chat. Again, I'm sorry I couldn't answer your questions immediately because I can't see the chat window in here. But thanks for watching. We'll be back again for more Elite Dangerous with me and Tygra. So I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching and all that. And we're out. If you like the content on this channel, please consider subscribing. Also, visit the Gamers Bay store. Gamers Bay store link is in the video description. There you can find retro games on sale from our store and the various other merchandise, and all the proceeds for that will go towards helping both Zorch Central and the Gamers Bay channel. You can also find the Gamers Bay community on MeWe. MeWe is the only social media network that does not sell your data. They do not run ads, so they're not beholden to advertisers. They will not sell your data. They take your privacy seriously. And some Zorch Central content can only be found on Library. Library is a competitor to YouTube that is completely decentralized and treats users like adults and has no censorship. They go out of their way to make it extremely difficult to censor the platform. All those links are in the description below.